This is not a car that I ever thought was in the performance car race. The all-wheel drive one got you off the line 0 to 60, 3.5.
But this right now, when everyone's like, I hate Jaguar, you're the worst brand of all time, you're the new Bud Light, like, this might be the time to get your hands on one of these cars.
Is the hate for the F-Type specifically, or is the hate for the company that departed from the F-Type? You take the soul out of the car, you put it in the garbage. You take people's insecurities, you put them where the soul was. We revive a car brand.
Yeah, there you go. This may be the deal of a lifetime. Hey everyone, welcome back to Gear Glazers. I'm Kyle, and this is Mike, aka Millionaire Mindset Mike. And today, we're continuing our series titled Glazed Over, and we're talking about the Jaguar F-Type. Now, this car, or should I say this brand, has been through it. But is this a hidden gem underneath all the hate, or does it deserve it? Mike, talk to me.
Are people hating on the Jag?
So, I think yes. Politically correctly, yes, definitely. We're gonna get into it, but I don't think people like this car at all.
That's what I'm wondering. Is the hate for the F-Type specifically, or is the hate for the company that departed from the F-Type?
Both.
Really? What are people saying about the F-Type?
I don't think that people really liked this car. I think they thought it was overwhelming. I mean, let me talk.
Underwhelming?
Underwhelming.
Yeah.
And let me just, I guess, talk about my opinion. I definitely thought it was underwhelming. Real quick, this thing is screaming in my ears.
Yeah.
That's the best part of this car. We can agree on that.
Yeah.
The sound this thing makes is the best part of this car.
That's always been a Jag thing.
Yeah.
Their V8s have always sounded terrific.
Yeah, but with that said, you think people like this car?
Yeah, dude, I haven't seen anybody in the enthusiast community that doesn't like this car. I've seen people say Jag is off it, or like it doesn't make enough power, or like it didn't sell well for one reason or another. But at the end of the day, like, I don't know anybody that would look at a used F-Type and say that isn't a good driver's car. Like,
well, no, I'm not talking about that. I guess I'm talking about buying this car new at the price that it came out at.
All right, let's just address the elephant in the room.
Okay, whatever do you mean by that?
We can't address the current temperature of people's interpretations of how they feel about the Jaguar F-Type without talking about how people feel about Jaguar in general right now.
Yes.
The reality of it is, they were in a lot of trouble. Just for context, Jag stopped production for the entire year of 2024. They said, hey, we're not making cars.
It didn't matter if they stopped it or not.
They weren't
going to sell them.
Yeah, no.
So it didn't matter.
They still have unsold inventory, but that's neither here nor there. They were in trouble and they stopped production. Whether that was for whatever reason, Jag's always had issues. We can get into that. But what they did as a result is they made a very strong play in one direction with their marketing and with the release of their newest concept car. They dropped two of the most controversial looking concept cars in pink and blue in Miami at Art Basel. And they were very clearly targeting a demographic of people that does not typically align with the sports car enthusiast market.
That's one way to say it.
It's clear that they were going for something completely different. Now, the temperature of what I've been seeing online in terms of how people are talking about Jaguar cars and how they're talking about Jaguar as a company in general, I'm sure you've seen it as well, is overwhelmingly negative. But I think it's for the wrong reasons.
Let me just say, this event that they did in Miami was directly outside of my window. If I looked outside of my apartment window, it was right there. And they had the booth up for like, I don't know, it was a couple days. I don't think I saw one person there.
No.
Like, Miami was overrun with people for Art Basel. They were in every crevice and corner. Traveling 2 miles took you 20 minutes, like, and there was no one at this event. Like, I don't think it's working.
Here's the thing. I don't know that it was meant to garner that much attention from the group of people that were at Art Basel. And let me get into what I mean by that. I think that a lot of people online are saying Jaguar lost its mind. It fell to, outside influence. It's part of one political agenda or something. And it's just not, the car manufacturer lost its way. In their marketing, there was not a single thing about the car and it being good to drive. It seemed like all they did was say, it's going to be comfy, and it's going to have 300 something miles of range, which is just enough to check off the box that maybe I can buy this thing. But I think that it's ignorant to say that a company, like a literal one of the world's major car brands, just fumbled. Like, that doesn't feel right to me. Does that make sense to you?
I think they fumbled, yeah.
You think it was just a hard fumble?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
At this day and age, with the amount of research that people put into their marketing, that is not possible.
You know how they say if it ain't broke, don't fix it? Mm-hmm. What's the opposite of that? Because it was broken for sure.
Yeah.
And so they had to do something wildly different, and I get it. Yeah. People were like, they should have stayed. No. Let's just stop. If they kept trying to do what they were trying to do, they would be bankrupt. It was not working.
The way I see it, there's two realities here, and none of them are that a giant legacy car manufacturer just marketed bad. Like, it just seems so unlikely to me.
Yeah, they definitely couldn't do that.
I think the most likely scenario is that they were targeting a niche audience.
Okay.
Think about it. Like,
I'm thinking. I'm trying to think. How is what Jaguar's done over the past couple of weeks the right move? Please enlighten me.
I'm not saying it's the right move, but I'm saying that if I were a dying car manufacturer, if I was running a dying car brand that was on the verge of literally going bankrupt, who literally is axing their entire car lineup, I would not try to come out with some huge announcement of 10 great cars and make all these wild claims about how performant and how great of value they're going to be. What I would do is I would find one niche subset of buyers, probably electric car vehicles, probably EV drivers, because they don't care too much about performance, and Jag is certainly not in the performance race anymore. I'm going to tell them that one thing, they can check off that this thing's going to get 300 something miles of range so that they can feel okay about buying it. And most importantly, I'm going to tell them that they are unique and different. And that's how I'm going to get them to buy the car.
Okay. Let me just make sure I understood that correctly. Essentially take the soul out of the car.
Oh, yeah. You take the soul out of the car, you put it in the garbage. You take people's insecurities, you put them where the soul was.
Car success.
Yeah.
101.
Boom. We revive a car brand.
Yeah, there you go.
And Great. I'll tell you why. This, and I can go on a long, lengthy rant about how back in 2008 they ruined cars because car manufacturers went bankrupt and they had to go to giant financial institutions like BlackRock and sell their soul away to the people who make those decisions to get enough money to stay in business. I can go on and on about that. But the reality is nobody felt more of that than Jaguar. Jaguar was sold by Ford Motor Company in 2008 to Tata Motors. Do you know who Tata Motors is?
No.
They're an Indian firm.
I do know that they were sold to like an Indian firm though.
Yeah, they're an Indian firm who literally makes commercial vehicles.
Okay.
That's who Tata Motors is. Okay. They do not make performance cars that are meant to make you feel great about driving. They're trying to make a buck here.
Okay, so we should have bought Jaguar, man.
It was sold for, I think I have it in my notes, $2.3 billion.
Oh, it's late.
I know.
I keep that on me usually.
It's not too bad.
Keep that on me.
I don't know if that was part of the deal where they also got Range Rover, because they got Jag and Range. I don't know if the 2.3 was just for Jag, but
look, I think they fumbled, and I think that at the end of the day, when you take the soul out of a company like this, which is supposed to be a driver's car, I don't think there's anything left. And I don't think they're going to be good at making economy cars. I don't think they're going to be good at making luxury cars. Like, I think they had a niche, and I think they deserted it, and I think they're going to pay the price for that.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. One thing's for certain, these cars are going to be awful. That's just the reality of it. All I'm trying to do is I'm trying to answer the people online who are just blindly saying that this major car manufacturer just fell to the woke mind virus or whatever they're saying about it. Like, no, like this was focus group. They probably paid like some gigantic ad agency to put this all together. This was a targeted attack on a very small subset of people that they're going to use to build their product line off the back of.
Well, I wish them the best of luck with that. Truly. With that said, this may be the deal of a lifetime. This is a used car.
Yeah.
They're not making any more of them.
No.
Let's talk sales figures. 2022, they made 683 of these cars. 2023, they made 363 of these cars. There are none of these cars on the road. If you can get your hands, your grubby little paws, on a V8 all-wheel drive model, you might be sitting pretty in 5 to 10 years. Let's think about that.
That's crazy. That's crazy because I took a look at the used car market for this right before this call.
Hit me.
I saw 2016, so pre-facelift.
Okay.
But the V8, the same motor we have here.
Okay.
What do you think?
I mean, it could be anything.
The
Maybe
MSRP.
it could be 50.
The MSRP is 108, mind you.
2016, that's like, okay, 8 years old. Nah, it's less than that.
Yeah.
45, maybe. What do we got?
30.
For the V8, not the V6.
For the V8.
What's the V6? $5?
Yeah, no, literally. The V6 is like people are, leaving them on the side of the road. They're worthless. But no, I saw a V8 for literally 30 grand.
Okay.
And if you want the facelifted one, it's not as cheap. It's not dirt cheap, but you can get a facelifted one 2021 for 70.
Okay, that's quite a bit newer. It's going to be a little bit more reliable for longer, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's going to be way lower mileage.
Yeah.
This might be the deal of the century. We talked about the AMG GT a year ago, but this right now, when everyone's like, I hate Jaguar, you're the worst brand of all time, you're the new Bud Light, like, this might be the time to get your hands on one of these cars.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Put this thing in a garage, man. This thing is going to be it.
And even though so few of these sold, the market for these cars is such that the people who bought them do not want to maintain them. If you spent $100,000 on a car, you are not trying to get your hands dirty trying to fix a Jag motor. You're not going to try to keep the oil
Very
in
different
that thing.
first, second, and third buyers.
Yeah,
Very different.
Very different. And you're certainly not going to keep paying Jaguar to maintain this thing. I don't even know what the service bay of a Jaguar dealership looks like.
I don't even know where it is.
Facts. You probably have to take it to a Range Rover. They're probably going to charge you an arm and a leg, and they're probably not going to be good at their jobs.
Yeah.
So all that adds up to, if you have a little bit of mechanical prowess or have a good mechanic and the willingness to keep one of these things on the road, you can get what I think is a really good performance car at an insanely low price.
And look, let's talk about the V6. We'll get to that. I mean, I don't want to say it's a good car, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But for a second, let's just put that on pause. If you can get your hands on one of these V8s, this thing come in manual?
No, the V8 never came in manual.
We were so close.
I know,
to the buy of a century. We were so close right there.
They were so close. So only the V6 was made in manual, and the V6 might be one of my least favorite engines that's ever come to pass.
Okay, wait, the straight 6, not the supercharged 6. Because, correct me if I'm wrong here, I thought pre-facelift, they had a non-supercharged V6 and a supercharged V6, and in the facelift, they only have the supercharged V6.
I think they're all supercharged.
I think they had a non-supercharged V6 in the 2016.
Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Early on there. I don't know too much about the naturally aspirated engine, but I do know that the supercharged V6 is awful. It sounds awful. It drives awful. The only saving grace of the cars that it came in is that they're going to be cheap and that they're going to be manual.
So something I want to talk about real quick just on this note, when they brought the facelift out, they only brought it out with 3 engine options, the supercharged V6, the turbocharged 4-cylinder, and the V8.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that because I think, again, that they eliminated the naturally aspirated V6 in favor of only the 4-cylinder.
Yeah.
And, like, people have been doing that.
It just makes sense. It's just good math.
Yeah, just eliminating the V6 and just replacing it with a 4. Like, how do you feel about that? I always love the NA. You prefer the 4-cylinder?
Mustang did that.
Yeah. You prefer the 4-cylinder?
Toyota did that. Everybody was really antsy about it because they're, oh no, my displacement. But the reality of it is the people who actually care about displacement are going to spend the 8. They're going to find the value in the 8. And the people who don't want the things that the 4 has to offer. They want that fuel economy. They want it to be lighter. Like it's just a better option. It doesn't make sense to have a naturally aspirated 6 anymore. It's a weird middle ground.
It's interesting. It's definitely food for thought. I think I'd prefer the NA6, but it is what it is. Point is, the car is okay, but I just want to talk about that V8, man. Like, go buy one. Like, You heard it here first. This is going to blow over. People are not going to hate this brand forever. And when that happens, if you were able to get one of these when the car market's falling, when this company in general is falling,
when the next iteration of Jaguar's sports car comes out and it's just it doesn't hold a candle to this thing.
And again, we're coming to a day and age where, like, performance doesn't matter anymore. EVs are blowing things out the water. It's all about a visceral driving experience. And with the noise that this thing has, with the V8 engine that it comes with, I think that this thing is going to be a home run.
Absolutely. This is a used car market champion for sure. I would be, if I had a used car lot, I'd be hoarding these things.
Dude, literally. Literally.
You want to talk a little bit about performance before we jump over and look at the interior and the showroom?
Let's do it.
So the performance is actually, it kind of surprised me.
You're talking about the V8?
The V8, yeah. I don't want to hear about anything other than the V8. So the V8 was sold in 2 iterations. You had the F-Type P450R Dynamic, and you had the F-Type R. The P450R Dynamic was slightly undertuned, and it was rear-wheel drive. The F-Type R had a little bit extra boost, and it was all-wheel drive. The all-wheel drive one got you off the line 0 to 60 3.5.
It's pretty good.
Dude, this is not a car that I ever thought was in the performance car race. Like this, you don't get this thing to go around a track or to race anybody else. You get
What's
this
an
thing to
M3?
cruise.
What's an M3?
Like literally right there.
Yeah.
It's literally right there with an M3 in terms of 0 to 60. Isn't that nuts?
That is pretty nuts. That is pretty nuts.
With that said though, as far as track time, it is on par with an M2 comp, a Supra, which is just an M2 comp, and a Toyota Corolla GR.
Okay, wait. Hold on. A Supra is an M2 comp?
Yeah. Same thing.
Really?
I guess the M2 is the S58 and the Supra's the B58.
Yeah, right? It's the they have the more powerful version in the M2.
Yeah. Same thing.
All right, look, I need you BMW Glazers to come alive. Let's flood the comments with hate comments. I'm kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that. But yeah, I think that like this thing being in the same category as an M2 comp is crazy.
Dude, it's in the same category as a Corolla GR.
Yeah, that was the second half of what you said.
Which is a third of its price tag.
Yeah, that's...
But yeah, aside from this thing just being an awful track car, it is an excellent driver's car.
Which is how people are going to use this.
Yeah.
People are not going to use this on the track. Does this thing come convertible?
Yes, it does. It does.
The V8?
It does come in
They didn't
Roadster.
do some freaking like...
The V8 comes in Roadster.
Okay, and it comes paddle shifters?
Yeah.
All right,
you get your
it's
paddle
okay.
shifters,
That's all right. Okay.
And funny enough, my pick for this would be to get the rear-wheel drive version. Not only because it's gonna be a little bit easier to maintain, but also just because it's gonna be more fun to drive. I don't need the extra, 50 horsepower or whatever you get from getting the R. I don't want to spend that money, and I definitely don't want the all-wheel drive system. I want to slide this thing around.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's probably the better buy.
I think the hate on Jaguar, pointed in the right direction if you're going to hate them. It's a failing company. We don't need to tie this car moving forward to the future of Jaguar. They're going full electric. This is sort of a vestigial, victory lap, sort of end of the combustion era car. I'd like to leave it there. I'd like to keep it in a little glass case because I actually like it and I don't want it to be affected by the nonsense that its parent company is doing.
Yeah, you should buy one.
I should.
You should
legitimately
buy one.
My pick, and if I might actually do this, but I'm gonna go get an F-Type P450R Dynamic.
Dude.
With the V8, and I'm gonna get it coupe. People might like convertible. I've had some bad luck with convertibles in the past. My convertible's currently broken.
That's a great choice.
Back to the showroom. What do you think about the facelift, man? We didn't talk too much about the looks.
I didn't love the pre-facelift F-Type. Yeah. I actually really like the facelift F-Type.
The pre-facelift looked a little dated.
Yeah,
when it came out, it looked a little dated.
It did look a little dated. I like this car. Like the design of this is pretty nice to me.
It's clean. It's clean.
Like I like this more than. Let me see the back again. But
the back is the strong suit here.
Really?
I love the back of this car.
Okay. I prefer the front of this car easily.
Really?
To the new AMG GT.
Okay.
Easily. I will take this in terms of aesthetics over the new AMG GT.
It's just such an apples to oranges because the AMG GT is so big. This is not the same type of car.
Yeah, but I'm just saying in terms of like the design cues, like the way that it doesn't have those bulbous headlights and it has the sleek, skinny ones. Like I love the design language of this car. Honestly, I think if they use this design language on the new AMG GT, I'd like it better.
Yeah, I agree. I think
because they did that with the back. The back is those really slim taillights.
The hood opens backwards.
Yeah,
that's elite.
And
you see the top of that wheel well, like when the hood opens and the wheel well's exposed. Oof. Chef's kiss.
This is a buy right here.
This is a good buy, man. I can't stress it enough. Like, it's not gonna keep oil in it. It's just not. It's gonna be hard to maintain. But if you like tinkering It's a V8 supercharged. Like it's not gonna explode like turbo cars do. It's not gonna grenade itself. Like it's not that hard to maintain.
Look at the back of this thing. Yeah, it's mean. Yeah, I like this car. I like this car. The design, I like it.
Look at how they got those exhaust tips pointed up right at you, so you get that note.
I like it. I like it.
This might be top 5 best sounding cars all time.
It really does sound amazing. It's really, really good.
Like this compared to an American V8, like this compared to like a Scat Pack or a Hellcat exhaust or something like that, or a Mustang exhaust, I much prefer it. How do you feel about it compared to the base C8?
The engine or the design?
The engine, just specifically the engine, the motor itself and its noise.
I'm not a huge fan of the base C8's noise.
Me neither.
I'm not a huge fan.
It's not great. What's up with that?
I don't know. It's really not great.
I don't know, man. LS's used to sound better.
It's a great engine. The characteristics of the engine are fantastic, but the sound is just kind of mid. It's kind of mid.
They maybe had to do some nonsense with the exhaust being so short since it's at the back of the car.
Maybe. I doubt it. Like I feel like maybe.
Pass back, dude.
No, this is a hit.
This is such a usable car.
This is a hit. This is a hit.
You can just get in this thing and go take it for a ride and have fun, and the power's there when you need it.
This is a hit.
If this thing was manual, dude, I don't know if it's possible to get a 6-cylinder and then do a V8 swap and keep the transmission from the 6. I don't know if that's an option.
Well, dude, paddles are really not bad. Like, I look, my first car was manual. Yeah. You know that.
Yeah.
Z06 is paddles.
Yeah.
I don't prefer the manual. Straight up. Like, they're both very fun.
Yeah?
Yeah, honestly. They're both very fun, especially when it's like a modern transmission. It's not bad.
I can maybe be sold on paddles. I don't know, man.
You should test drive it, man. This thing looks like... And you've been looking for a new car? I really think this might be it. This might be it.
This is like a new old car. You know what I mean?
This is all you've ever wanted,
That is all I've ever wanted.
This might be it.
Yeah. No, this thing's fire. The wheel options are good. It has the cool door handles. Everybody knows it needs cool door handles.
This thing might be a hit, bro. And right now, when they're getting the most flack, this is the time. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Glaze score.
Let's do it.
Let's glaze this thing up. Performance. What do you got?
Performance 6. And keep in mind, we're testing the F-Type R, the one I mentioned with the 3.50 to 60. It's $100,000. Top speed 186. All-wheel drive. 6 performance. It's respectable.
I gave it a 6 also.
That's what I gave an M3, I think.
I think I gave an M3 a 7?
I think I gave an M3 a 6, and this is right there, man.
Yeah, it's true. But the track performance is worst.
The track performance is significantly better on an M3, so that sets it apart.
Okay, design. What do you got? We just talked about it.
Design 8. Beautiful.
What'd you give the base C8? Do you remember?
The base C8 I also gave an 8 to.
Okay.
I gave this the same.
I gave this thing an 8.
Yeah.
The design is just there, man. This car hits. It really
there.
does.
I would actually give it higher if it was bigger. It's kind of small. It feels like a car that should have more presence. And I personally love that it's smaller, but I think that people generally would like it more if it was bigger.
Okay, value. What do you got?
6. It's not great, not terrible.
I gave it a 5.
Yeah.
I just thought it was okay in terms of new value.
Yeah.
Used value right now is a very different conversation.
Dude, bye.
Bye.
I like the stock.
Okay, perception. What do you got?
Perception on the facelift, I put 8, man. I think people like it. I think people will glaze you up in this.
I gave it a 7. I was having problems with this because I think people will hype you up in this, but like, I don't know, man. What do you pull up in a C8, you pull up in a facelifted F-Type. What do you think gets you more clout?
The person who doesn't know cars, I think the C8 gets you more clout. The person who does know cars, this gets you far more clout.
I think that's probably fair. You really think a person that doesn't know cars C8 more than this?
It's just a big, loud, massive aero and bright
base
colors.
C8. Base C8 though.
It's still so much aero on the base C8.
Okay. All right.
And it's just big, dude. It's just a huge car.
Okay.
All right. We're pretty in there.
Yeah,
I'm not mad at that.
We are.
These are respectable numbers.
So again, in summary, we've tried to answer the question, was this thing unrightfully glazed over or was it appropriately passed on?
Yeah.
I think we've come to a resounding, this is a buy. Yep. Like, this car was definitely passed on, especially right now with all the hate Jaguar is getting. I think this thing is a hidden gem. I think we found one.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head. Not only is this been passed on and glazed over, this is actively being dragged through the mud unrightfully. It's a good car.
It's a good car. I think that's about all there is to say about this car.
I agree.
And with that said, thanks for watching, guys.